Hey guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. I'm back with a new artistry iron-on ink project. Today we're going to make some sweet little jewelry pendants, and I'm just going to be using my regular stamps that I use for card making for this. So let me go ahead and clean this up, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So in each of your packages, it does come with has two of these. So we've got two of the bezels and then two of the sublimatable blank, I guess you'd say, that you're going to be able to place in there. And it also has the adhesive right there. If you're a jewelry maker, on top of that, you probably already have some E6000 or something like that that you could use as well. But the adhesive in there should work fine. First step, though, that we need to do is we need to draw on our paper where we want to put our design. So I've got plenty of paper here. This is just regular copy paper, and I'm just going to trace around the outside of my blank with a pencil, and that's going to basically give me an idea of where I want to put my design. So I've zoomed in a bit so it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to see. And I went into my stash of stamps and just pulled out a couple of them. They're a little old. This one's actually from Not Too Shabby. It's called Be Happy. I have no idea if it is still available or not. Probably not. But it does have this cute little image here. And that image is too big for my blank, but I can do kind of off to the side and get the flower in. So that's what my plan is for this one. So I'm just going to put that down onto my stamping block. And I'm going to take out my black ink. This is my black sublimation ink so that I can get a nice dark impression there. And I want to make sure I put plenty of ink on here. Since I'm using an ink stamp block instead of my Misty, I'm only going to have an opportunity to stamp it once. Okay. Now, if you want to make sure you get a darker impression, you can use a stamp positioner like the Misty, so you can stamp it more than one time, just in case, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go off to the side a little bit. It's not going to include the word, but I do want that flower in the top of the jar. So we're going to just stamp it right there. And this is just onto some regular paper. Okay, so that I think is going to look fabulous. Now I've got another stamp set that I'm going to use, another one from my stash of Not Too Shabby shop. And I think I want to use this cute little bird. Now this one is actually kind of a Christmassy one, but I think this is still going to work fine for all year round. It's just that little bird on a branch. I think that is super cute. I'm going to do the same thing. Just placing him down onto the block and then adding some of the ink. And I am going over it a few times to make sure that I get plenty of ink onto my stamp block. And I just want to make sure that I get the bird on there and some of the branches. So I'm going to just, again, a little bit off center. There we go. And we've got a cute little bird. Now all I need to do is color them up with some of the markers. So I pulled out some markers from a couple of different sets. There are multiple sets of markers at Artistry. The way that you use these, first off, you store them all laying horizontal. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I think it makes everything last longer so that the ink doesn't try to dry out or anything like that. But before you want to use them, you want to have them with the tip facing down. So I've had these sitting with the tip down for a bit, and I've already tested all of these to make sure that they work. And now I'm just going to color up my images. For my little sunflower, I'm going to use some yellow. So I'm just coloring it in. Easy breezy coloring. Nothing special, just coloring inside of the lines. These are not alcohol-based markers, so they don't blend the way that alcohol markers do. That took me a little while to understand and get the hang of. But you can make some really gorgeous designs with these. And the colors do layer up nicely. So I've got some yellow down first, and then I'm going to come in with a little bit of the orange. coming out from the center. Just to make it a little bit more vibrant. Plus, that's kind of the way the sunflowers look, I think. And then I'm going to bring in some brown in the center to where the seeds would be. Okay, so I'm going to say that that is good. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and use this brown since I have it out for this cord that is wrapped around the top of our honey jar. And for the cloth on the honey jar, I decided to go with one of the blues that I've got. So I've actually got 3 different blues because I'm going to use them on the other one. I've got blue and red for that, but I've also got the blues for the background. So this is going to be for the sky. So I'm going to go with that light blue. And I think for this one, I'm going to go the dark blue for the cloth that's over the edge of our honey jar. Now, I'm thinking I would have probably liked a tan, but I didn't have a tan marker that was ready to go, so we're going to go with this. This is also going to make this pendant really vibrant because we're using vibrant colors. And I am going to go a little bit over the edge here. It's not 100% necessary, but... And the colors are going to be a lot more vibrant than what you're seeing here now. Okay. Then I think I'm going to go with... Let's just go with yellow for the honey jar. There's not going to be a lot of it showing, so it's not really going to blend in with the yellow from our sunflower. There we go. And just doing a little bit more touch up. Make sure I got all of the places covered on our sunflower. Okay, great. Now I'm going to come in with the light blue for that background. And I'm going over it a couple of times so that I can hopefully get rid of most of the marks from the stroke marks. Probably won't get rid of all of them, but that is actually okay. Okay, so this one is all good to go. Now we're going to work on this other one. So since I've already got the blue out, let me go ahead and start with the background for him. And these are translucent colors, so they're going to layer over each other. So I'm going to actually add some more green in over that bow. Okay, so we've got our background done. Now let's add... I think I want this area of our bird to be red, and then the rest of it's going to be this dark blue. And you can, of course, color whatever colors you want. So for the branch, I'm going to go using my fine tip marker. I'm going to just draw on there the shape of our branches and then add in all of that pine needles. And there we go. I think that is fine. So I want to make sure that my blanks are nice and clean, so I'm cleaning them with alcohol, just to be on the safe side. And I'm going to place my blank down right over the circle that we drew earlier, and I'm going to tape everything in place. Okay, and then I can trim most of this off because we don't need the rest of it. I'm going to do the same thing with our little birdie. And while I'm waiting, I'm also got my heat press over to the side heating up so that it's going to be ready to go. So I've got it heated to 400 degrees and we're going to be pressing for 45 seconds. Okay, place that right down over the top. Got me a piece of tape. And this is heat resistant tape. It is not Scotch tape. You don't want to use Scotch tape. It's probably going to just melt and it's not going to protect your surfaces. So we don't want to use anything other than heat resistant because that's going to be what's going to work best for this. And then we're going to grab out some protective paper. And this is some siliconized paper from Artistry, and that's going to protect our work surface and our machine, our heating machine, so that we don't have any transfer. So these are both fairly small, so I'm just using this one piece and cut it down into two. And then we're going to build our sublimation sandwich. So for the sublimation sandwich, what we need is we need a piece of siliconized paper. I like to just fold mine in half. So we've got the bottom bun, then we've got our blank, which is our hamburger. We turn it over with the design facing up because we've got our heat press, which is going to press down on it. So the heat is going to be hitting this side, okay? You always want the design touching where the heat is, okay? So we've got the hamburger, then we've got the cheese, and then we've got the upper bun. So that's how that's going to work. I'm going to do the same thing with this other guy. And then I'm going to put both of these onto my protective mat. So this is going to protect my work surface from getting too hot. Okay, so these are small enough I can actually do them both at the same time. Make sure they are on my mat well. And now we're going to bring in our heat press. And I'm going to go straight down. I'm going to press the button to start, and I'm going to actually add a bit of pressure. I'm actually putting just my weight on here and pressing down pretty well because it asks for heavy pressure. Now, if you're using a clamshell type of heat press instead of this handheld one like what I am, then you can probably just adjust it and get the right amount of pressure on there. So we're just going to wait and we will see how this turns out. Okay, let's take a look. Now the design I like the best, of course, is my, my little honey pot. So let's take a look at that one first. So I can see that there is some yellow on my protective paper. So that means that it did protect my machine, but it also means that I cannot use this piece again. So let's take a little sneak peek. You always want to do a sneak peek first to make sure that it did the transfer because you can always repress. Ooh, look at that. I can see the colors really nicely. And then the big reveal. It is hot. This is metal, so it is hot. Oh, that is lovely. Love the way that that turned out. Fabulous. So let's do the same thing with the other one. I'm going to let that cool before I take the tape off. So again, we do have some color on our paper, so we cannot use that again. But let's do a sneak peek. And I do see some pretty color there. That looks great. And then our big reveal. And that actually turned out better than I thought it was gonna. I like that. Okay, so now we're going to let those sit to the side to cool down. Once they're cooled down, then we can put them into our bezels. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add these to my bezels. Just make sure that it's facing right side up. And these didn't really take that long to cool down, but I think that they turned out lovely. And you can put them on a chain or a leather cord or whatever you want to. Let's see, want the bird about like that. There we go. And we're all done. These turned out fabulous and they're ready for me to put on a chain and to give away. So you guys have a wonderful day. If you make anything similar to this, please, please, please tag me and let me see your wonderful work. You guys have a oh, and also tag Artistry. Be sure to do that. Hashtag Artistry Iron on Ink. You have a wonderful day and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.